Hello everybody, Powerful Swagger here, and today we're going to be doing another Reddit read. We're getting today's story off of Am I the Devil? It was originally on Pet Free Reddit. Never heard of that Reddit. The original title is Owning a Pet is mostly about being part of a cult, and I wonder when pet addicts are going to snap out of it. That's a weird take. Pets are a part of a cult? I mean, I wouldn't say that. I don't think cults are like trying, oh, you gotta have it. None of the pet owners I know like try and force being pet owners on other people. That's not a thing. But let's get into it, see what they mean. I took a break from the pet-free subs to take a step back, and what I've noticed today since coming back is how pet addicts continue to repeat the same nonsensical, anti-human monologue as if they're in a trance by the neurological effects that their pet parasites have on their cognition. Jesus. This guy thinks just having pets brainwashes you into... That's weird. I feel like this guy doesn't have a lot of empathy. Because, yeah, why would somebody having a pet mean they're brainwashed by it? That's weird. I asked Gemini AI. Oh, jeez. Asked an AI, so this is top-notch logic here. Symptoms of being in a cult, and it gave the following answer. Quite enlightening and all. I'm thinking it's a waste of time trying to argue with pet addicts because they're so conditioned to not simply see that pet animals are a completely different species that can't reproduce, let alone experience real love with, and they're basically sacrifice their human rights to live a life of servitude. Whoa, I have no idea who hurt this guy, what dog bit him, or what person, I want to have my dog over being in a relationship with you or whatever, that really broke this guy. But this guy is, or lady, I don't know. This person is just crazy. They're so conditioned to simply not see pet animals are a completely different species they can't reproduce with, let alone experience real love with. What does reproducing have to do with love? The fact that those two things are connected to you tells an insane amount about this person. Because, love and reproduction are not, they don't have to exist together. It can be two separate things. That's super fucking weird. And I'm pretty sure studies have shown on dogs and cats that they do feel, chemically wise, the same thing we feel love wise towards them. It is a both side thing. It's why cats became pets. It wasn't like dogs we trained and bred to become more house pets. Whereas cats just were oh, cool, humans are where we want to be. And they moved in with us because they're smart. Also, they basically sacrificed their human rights to live a life of servitude. What human rights have they sacrificed by having a pet? That doesn't make any sense. And most, as sad as it is, most pets, like dogs and cats anyways, I don't want to say most pets because the pets are tons of different animals and animals have different life variations, but cats and dogs, if you're lucky, your dog lives 15 to 18 years if you're lucky, and then same things with a cat. If you're lucky, they live to be 18 to 22 years. So it's, to say life of servitude is just insane. So I don't know if this is directly the response from the AI or if it's what they put in for the AI to give them answers and then the answers. Symptoms of being in a cult include unquestioning loyalty to a leader, and then leader is scratched out, and then pet is put there, and you're trying real hard. So you asked what a cult was, it told you, and then you just fed that information, put pet in instead of leader, and you're claiming that AI agreed that pet owners are in a cult. That's not at all what happened. You edited this to make it look better for you, 100%. No question in my mind. Symptoms of being in a cult include unquestioning loyalty to a pet, isolation, and fear of the outside world. Again, don't know a single pet owner that's afraid of the outside world. Most pet owners I know take their dogs for walks at parks and things like that. So they're interacting with other people, with dogs and other people. That's not a fear of the outside world. That's actually a way we communicate with each other. Oh, they got a dog. That's awesome. And you start talking to people. That happens regularly. Cults are often dangerous organizations that manipulate and harm their members. We'll just move on. Symptoms. Now it's a bullet point system. Unquestioning loyalty. Members worship a charismatic leader, crossed out again, pet, without question. So I'm just going to say pet. Anytime I say pet, it's actually leader, because this person's, feeding bull. Isolation. Members are isolated from family and friends. Again, a bunch of my family who own pets, them having pets don't stop them from seeing people or stop people from going over there and seeing them. That's, if anything, it gives them other reasons to see people, because I love to see my family's dogs and cats and just animals in general, because who doesn't? Psychopaths, that's who. No, that's a joke. Fear. Members have unreasonable fears of the outside world, such as evil conspiracies or persecutions. Well, dude, I think you're in a cult. You are seeing the people having pets as evil. That's like, what? You're the one in the cult, bro. No tolerance for questions. Members are not allowed to ask questions or question the pet. What do you mean question the pet? What does that even mean? Jesus. No financial disclosure. There's no transparency about the group's finances. And then this is in parentheses, excessive vet bills and GoFundMe pages to pay for the excessive vet bills. Well, dude, that doesn't mean they're in a cult. That means capitalism is working against them to make their life harder. That is capitalism. That's not cult. I mean, some people would argue capitalism is a cult. But yeah, no, that's just capitalism, bro. No legitimate reason to leave. Former members are blamed for leaving and are considered wrong or evil. Nobody has told somebody who gets a pet and decides, oh, a pet's not for me, that they're evil or wrong. If there is somebody saying that, they are wrong. You're allowed to not want to have pets or get a pet and realize that it's too much work for you because you work so long hours or you have children or whatever. That doesn't make you evil, realizing, oh, looks like a pet isn't for me, or it's not for me at this point in my life, or whatever. Nobody blames people for that. That's a reasonable thing. Life gets in the way sometimes. That happens. And people are allowed to have preferences and just not, they got a cat. Oh, looks like I'm not a cat guy. I'd rather have a dog. Things like that. You're allowed to have preferences when it comes to pets. Even the preference of not having a pet. Groupthink. Members share common beliefs, are controlled by groupthink rather than individualism. I mean, in the sense of groupthink of loving animals, yeah, I guess that's groupthink. Abuse. Members may be abused physically or psychologically. So, see, with that last one, the abuse, members may be abused physically or psychologically. That's not a pet owner thing. We don't just abuse other people. And like they said in the beginning of this, to a certain extent, they don't have the same brains that we have. They don't have the same comprehension that we have. So they aren't trying to abuse you mentally or physically. They might abuse you physically a bit because they play and things like that. But that's something that pet owners agree to. We understand that's something that's going to happen. But yeah, this guy, he needs a lot of help. I don't know who did what to him or her, them, but they need help. Somebody did something real mean to them, and it has scarred them to their core. Other characteristics of cults: secretiveness, hostility to non-members, authoritarianism without accountability, and illegal and dangerous behaviors. Don't know what part of pet owner makes you secretive in any way. That's just weird. Hostile to non-members. I think that's him saying oh, people who have pets think people who don't have pets are wrong or whatever. No, I will say most people who have pets will argue that everybody should have a pet, because having a pet in your life does help, and tons of studies show that that's the case. Having an animal in your life 100% helps you get through the day. Authoritism without accountability. I don't even know how that applies in the slightest, so I'm just ignoring that. Illegal and dangerous behaviors. Now, there are pet owners who do those things, such as having dogs fight, things like that, but that it's illegal to do those things, and they get in trouble for that. Doesn't make him part of a cult. Might make him a bad person, but doesn't make him part of a cult. And let's see what some of these comments have to say, because this person is insane. Somebody commented, I saw a post today about a man's emotional support dog, which is in quotes, biting his 7-year-old son's face when he briefly left the room. The kid was playing video games. Every single comment I saw blamed the kid and the owner and said he must have provoked the dog because they don't bite for no reason. Technically, they don't bite for no reason. No dog just bites randomly. I'm sure there has totally been crazy cases where dogs have been more aggressive than generally are. But the fact that the man's emotional support dog, in quotes, biting his 7-year-old 9-year-old's face, it's not an actual emotional support dog. Then it never went through training, it never did anything like that, because truly trained dogs for those kind of things, they don't act like that, like ever. They were trained to get that out of their system, so that doesn't happen. It's also why like dogs can fail out of being support dogs, because they can't control themselves well enough. That is 100% a thing. Somebody said, I saw that post and commented, I know they downvoted me to hell and back. Well, somebody else responded to that. That's insane. These pet nutters are making comments like that. And yeah, dogs don't need to be provoked to bite. That kid needs to get away from the crazy parent who thinks they don't bite for no reason. The person who made the comment needs to be found and have his son placed with normal people who will put him first before some dog. Normal people? There's something wrong with these people. The boy needs stable parents, not parents who are going to blame their kid when their dog bit them. See, they're not even understanding. The person didn't say the dad was blaming him. He was saying everybody else on the internet was blaming the dad and the kid. They're not saying the dad was blaming the kid. Like, need stable parents, not parents who are going to blame their kid when their dog bit them when they didn't have anything to do with them. Like, that's insane. The kid probably even notices that the parent seems to care more about the dog than him. Guaranteed the dog gets better treatment than the son. You're not even like reading what the person said. Different comment. I hope sooner rather than later these horrid people, dog worshippers / dog cult devotees, sure have ruined a life. I used to know before they all drank that doggo Kool-Aid and ruined the wonderful life I used to know. Jesus Christ, dude. I don't know how can you hate pets so much? Like, one person, they say pets don't fit my lifestyle, but then they go on to say it is like being in a cult, the way those pet nutters behave. I even saw someone write on there that pet culture is out of control. When they put the cult in uppercase, I realized they meant that pet nutters are acting like they are part of a cult. You're absolutely right. They put right like writing, not right like Jesus. It's basically a cult-like behavior. I wonder if there is actually some real cult that people join that worships animals the heck out of dogs and cats or something. The pet culture thing seemed like it happened overnight, and everywhere I look, I see people out there with their dogs. I am not sure if it's an actual cult, but it definitely might as well be one. You people are insane. It's a new cult that just recently came up. People have had pets forever. That's like always been a thing. Yeah, let's look at the Am I the Devil comment. They made the title, I've always wanted to join a cult. And apparently so have I, because I'm part of a cult. Somebody commented, I constantly question my pet. Why are you like this? What is in your mouth? What are you doing? And how can I make you stop doing it? For example. So is this someone saying that they're down for it? That's weird. Can you not read? This is a different comment. Can you not read? You're not allowed to question the glorious leader scratched out pet. Now you must leave the cult immediately. Do not disclose your vet bills on the way out. Okay, so it's all a joke. The person responded, no, F you, I'm disclosing them. In the past week, this plague-riddled hell gremlin has cost me upward of $275, or pounds, sorry, not dollars, pounds, fecal lab testing to see if she's finally ridden herself of Campylobacter, I don't know how to say that, and Gardia. Check for conjunctivitis in both eyes because she thought a stream with a dead sheep in it was a great place for her entire face to be. Eye drops for the conjunctivitis and a flea and tick tablet that she flung around the living room with great and plump before eating it. I mean, you should stop your dog from drinking out of dead water. That's gross. Pretty sure it's all a joke, but somebody commented, I often ask my 9-year-old dog, is that a baby? How are you so baby? Why are you the babyest baby to ever baby? Also, why are you so pretty? How do you get to be so pretty? She usually declines to answer those questions. She saves her energy for the most direct one. Is it time to go outside? Is it Jenna baby the baby time? Is it bed snuggle time? Are you thirsty? Is it time for water? Is it time for play? Etc. Somebody responded, I like to ask my cat, how'd you get so small? I can barely see you. How'd you get that tiny? She's yet to answer. Maybe it's a cult leader control tactic. Someone responded to that. I asked one of mine how she got so big. She's like a truck. It's pretty funny that all the people are just making jokes about this, not even talking about how crazy the person is. But yeah, it's literally just people making jokes about how much they love their animals, which is kind of what I expected and definitely what should have happened. So yeah. That's what I think. That person's insane. So is that whole subreddit that apparently thinks having pets is cults. That's just nuts. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. We can have a conversation. I appreciate you clicking on this video. Hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, try to be kind out there.